Hello, can you hear me? Hopefully you can. Right, I'm going to try and get the chat up on my computer so I can see a little bit better what people are saying. Hello Kelly, welcome. Hello Small Garden Escape. Right. Hello Jane, welcome. Hello Sam, you made it to one of my live events, well done, thank you. I can see my video, but can I see the settings? Hello Dean, thank you for joining. We've got 10 people here, I think. Right. Aha, got it, got the chat. That's the main thing. You can read that now. It was a bit small on the screen. Hello Joyce, thank you for joining. Who else have we got here? We've got Valeria. Hello Valeria, welcome. Kelly, oh hello Steve, welcome. Kelly, yeah, we'll talk about the weather in a minute I think. When a few people are here, we'll definitely have a good chat about the storms that are due in the UK. Now I'm looking over to the left, apologies, the camera's there and I'm having to look over there to read the chat. So apologies. Now am I coming through loud and clear with volume? Because obviously I don't know that. Great, sound is good. That's okay then. Hello Liz, sorry I didn't see you there. Welcome. Brown Thumbs Allotment, welcome. Max, my garden and the dinosaurs who live there, welcome Max. So, how is everybody this evening or this afternoon, wherever you are, or even if it's morning? Is everybody okay? Have you had a good day? I've been at work today, so no allotmenting for me. I'm hoping to get up there tomorrow because I need to batten down the hatches. Sam had a fabulous evening on the plot. You were there in the evening, or well, presumably before it got dark. Yes, Jane, it does feel a little bit spring-like. Liz has had a day visiting Tony O'Neill. Great, that's good. Well, that's a nice thing to do. You were there from 3 onward, Sam. Valeria had a good day, not on the allotment, but used your ears to listen who wanted to share their sorrows. Okay. Whereabouts are you, Valeria? Hello, Shaz, the Kingston 8. Welcome. Yes, Mags, it is going to be nightmare weather, I think. It's going to be pretty stormy, particularly on Sunday. You're Dutch and live in the Netherlands. Aha, that's good, Valeria, thank you. I'd like to know where people are. Becky's Allotment, welcome to the chat. Nice to see you here this evening. Do you think it'll blow over, Sam? You think it won't be too bad? I think, to be fair, I think the further south people are in the UK, probably the better. But for people up in Scotland and Ireland, I know they're expecting particularly high winds. Steve's in Dursley. I know where that is because I've got a friend who lives that way. Nothing much planned for the garden this weekend. Might put up some nest boxes, small garden escape. Dean's in Derbyshire. Max reckons it'll be 50-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, is that 50-mile-an-hour already? Or are you thinking that there's going to be 50-mile-an-hour wind? It's grim up north, says Steve. So it's not too bad with you yet, Mags, but it is due. Pardon me for coughing. I've had a cold and I've got a lingering cough, so apologies if I'm coughing quite a bit this evening. Joyce says there might be a warning sign of a storm for the Netherlands. Yeah, I guess it could venture over in your direction. Snow moon this weekend. That means it's cold. You feel it's cold enough for snow. It's certainly been quite cold round by me today. Jane was going to put cardboard down on Sunday. She thinks she'll give it a miss. I think that's probably a good idea, Jane, yeah. It's given 65-mile-an-hour for winds in East Yorkshire. Greta's garden has got a storm here, of course. Now, Greta, am I right in saying you're over on the east coast of Canada, Greta? So I didn't see you before, so welcome. Am I right in saying that's where you are? I know you had particularly bad snow. Steve staying in the kitchen all weekend. Are you going to be cooking, Steve? Going to be making anything? Newfoundland, that's it. Newfoundland, I remember now, yeah. Yes, the damage to greenhouses are the things I worry about most. Last year I had damage to my greenhouse with the wind, so we just have to hope that it's not going to affect us this time. Oh, Steve's making things for shows. What shows have you got coming up, Steve? Yeah, I agree, Liz. Steve's cooking always does sound amazing. Now, apologies if I'm missing any people. If I've missed anybody, I'm not giving you a shout out, then sort of say hello again now so I can see your name coming up. Hello, Eleanor, welcome. Welcome to the chat this evening. Kelly's been picking and preserving everything in sight this week. That's good. Jane's asking, what shows are people off to this year? Hiya Jazz, welcome to the chat. Welcome Ivan or Ivan. Is it, have I spelled, do I pronounce it Ivan, Ivan, or who's going to Harrogate? Dean, you're going to Harrogate. That's the Harrogate Spring Show, I guess. When is that? Sam's put some 2x4 lengths inside at an angle to support it, hopefully to stop it from bowing out in the wind. Does anyone have any daffodils out flowering? Yes, I do actually have some daffodils out. I did put a picture of some daffodils on my Instagram. They're not out in flower at the allotment yet, but they are in flower in my front garden. There's just some very early ones which are quite close to the house. Jane's asked, is anybody doing Gardener's World? That's in Birmingham. I went along to that last year and met up with Nigel and Nick and Jane. Who else? And obviously Jane's husband Mike. Right. Oh, Steve's making boiled fruitcake, Easter biscuits, sausage rolls, pickled Chinese tea eggs, I don't even know what they are, marmalade, fruit scones this weekend. That is going to be a busy weekend. Dean's going to, it's late, he's going to meet the Geordie guys. Gardener's World is always on Father's Day weekend. It doesn't just go on at the weekend, Jazz. I think it is on for a few days before as well. Paul, welcome. Paul Savidance here. Welcome to the chat this evening, Paul. Sam would love to go to one of the shows but can't drive. Is there not a show you can get to by public transport, by train, Sam, at all? Um, Destiny Player, hello, welcome. No, I don't think there is anybody in London, but there are people from all over the UK. Becky's going to be probably going to the Cardiff show. That's an early one, isn't it? I think, Becky. I seem to remember seeing Tony O'Neill going to that one a few years ago. Oh, you can't do public transport, okay. No shows in the Netherlands, and that's a shame, Valeria and Joyce. That's a shame. Oh, of course, Paul, you're in London. That's. I don't think we'd want to talk about Brexit. This is a gardening chat, so I'd appreciate if we didn't talk about Brexit. Max is going to be at the Gardening Scotland show. Tony's Gardens and Gizmos is here. Welcome. You're not too late, Tony. It's we've not long started. It started just about 8 o'clock. Rachel Jane's Allotment. Welcome. Jazz is asking if anybody's attending any seed swaps. I'm not aware of anywhere on where there is a seed swap. I've been to. I will be going to a potato day, which is next Saturday by me, where you can get potatoes, and I know they have seeds for sale there, but I haven't been to a seed swap. I'd be interested to know of any. We haven't really talked about seeds yet, Becky. That is the theme of this evening. So thank you for reminding me. We'll move on to seeds. Right. Jane. Going to Malvern in spring. Liz is going to Malvern in spring. The Midlands is pretty rubbish for gardening show. Is that for gardening shows, Jazz? We certainly got the Gardener's World show. Oh, I see. You mean like local sort of things for like seed swaps and things? Roots and Shoots in London have their potato day and also a seed swap this coming Sunday in Kensington. Where did you go, Liz? Did you go last year to a seed swap? Do I remember? Oh, Pete's here from Gardener's Plot. Was it Bristol? Was that where you went? Yes, the Bristol seed swap. Ray's Allotment Garden. Welcome, Ray. When are we allowed to start sowing? That's a good a good topic, I think, sowing. Has anybody who has started sowing seeds? I guess that's a Monty, welcome. Thank you for joining the chat this evening. Hope you've managed to get your kids to bed or farm them off on somebody. Tony started growing seeds. I've started a few onion seeds off at the very beginning of January, and I've started my peppers off on a propagator which you can't quite see. It's off camera. I mean, you might be able to if I just turn this a little way. There's a little propagator there, can you see? And I've got some of those blue and pinky lights that I'm going to use when they start to germinate. Frank's here. Welcome, Frank. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. The chat's moving very fast, so I might miss out some of the messages. Chaz said something about doing a secret seed swap, like a secret Santa. That might be a good idea. Something to definitely think about. Jazz has started. Oh, sorry. She has onion, leeks, cauliflowers, aubergines, sweet and hot peppers, and some flowers on the go, plus winter salads in the greenhouse. Wow. Jane says, I've encouraged her to get a few pepper seeds in. I've only put the peppers in because I know that they need quite a long season. So in the past, I've always started those off early. Everything else I think can probably hold off till towards the end of February, March, when light levels are a little bit higher. Sam's got some dahlia and sweet William on the go. Poached eggplants. Oh, I've not seen those for years. We used to have some of those in our garden, and usually you can't get rid of them once you have them. That was in my parents' garden, I remember. Charles Dowding started beets in February. Pete is hopefully starting his chilies off. Joyce has started leeks, sweet peppers, hot peppers, and Valen seed. Becky's, I got a few things in, but is dying to start some tomatoes. Yeah, I'm holding off on doing the tomatoes until early March, I think, because I know that they get too leggy before I can put them out, and I haven't got the space to keep them because all my greenhouses are unheated. So I don't want to start them off too early and then have them lying around, sort of growing, and not be able to put them out. Dean did 2 trays of petunias in a heated propagator for unheated. Ray thinks he might buy some chili plugs to save the hassle. Yeah, I know what you mean, because they you can get those later on in the year. I did that last year with some chilies, Apache chilies, and I got them from Aldi, probably in about March or April. Tomatoes. Now, I didn't really start tomatoes off, did I, Jazz? I think Jazz will have a few tomatoes this year from what I've heard. Rachel Jane, she's got to plant stuff in a polytunnel to free up her trays before she sows more. Kelly agrees that with the tomatoes, they fly when the warmer days come. Yeah, they need the light. I think that's the other thing. Monty's actually started some tomatoes today. Okay, but are you growing those indoors to start off, Monty, or out in your greenhouse? Small garden escape, I picked up some red oak tree acorns from the ground at the Yorkshire Arboretum, and 4 of them have started to sprout. Wow. And you've got loads of ginger planted last week, Monty. What are red oaks? Are they like an oak tree? Sam is starting some tomatoes at the end of the month and then another batch early April. Good idea. Monty's got his tomatoes in the house for now. So Jazz is planning 160 heirloom tomatoes originally, but it's now going to have closer to 250. Jazz, you've got a problem. You've got a tomato problem. Ivan Ritchie started his pink Germador garlic and shallot red sun. Yes, people are saying, Jazz, you've got a tomato addiction. And we all thought she had quite a lot last year. It sounds like you're going to have a lot more. Where are you going to put them all? Have you got enough room on your plot for all those tomatoes? The problem is having a lack of space for more. And you can't eat them. That's the other thing. You've got an addiction to tomatoes that you can't eat. You can eat some, can't you? Didn't I remember you saying you could eat certain types? What's the best outdoor tomato? Oh, that's a good subject, isn't it? What's everybody's view on what's the best outdoor tomato? Crimson Crush is one of the ones I like. Blight free and seems to do quite well outdoors. But I'm open to any other suggestions. Kelly wishes that tomatoes would grow as well up outdoors up in Scotland. Sam can't get enough cherry tomatoes because his daughter eats them like sweets. Moneymaker, Valeria reckons, is a good tomato, yeah. And also Monty reckons Moneymaker. Sue Jones, welcome Sue, thank you for joining today. Paul reckons Amish paste. Yeah, I've seen those tomatoes. They looked very good last year. Sun Gold was mentioned by Mags. Becky reckons Crimson Crush. She can, Jazz can eat them now, but couldn't for years. Best outdoors are Black Crim, Spoon Tigerella. In fact, you grow all your tomatoes outside. Shaz, Crimson Crush, I think Thompson and Morgan, or Sutton's, I think you can get them the seed from. I've got a new crimson tomato this year, actually. I'm going to show you those. I brought them. I've got some packets of seed in readiness. And these are a variety called, they're variety Kings, and they're a variety called Cocktail Crush. So they're an F1 variety. So I know some people don't like using F1s, but they are a cocktail version of Crimson Crush. So they're a smaller version of Crimson Crush. Pag the Drums here. Welcome, Pag. Thank you for joining today. Kelly's mum had fabulous results with Garden Pearl, a tumbling variety. Most of Monty's tomatoes are grown outdoors. How are Mum to grow? They're a beefsteak tomato, aren't they, I think. I'm a bit behind on the chat, apologies. Marmande are lovely but prone to blossom end rot. Right, Paul says he likes Marmande, although find they tend to cat face. Is that, do you mean that they sort of pucker up? Is that what you mean by that, Paul? Honeybee F1 do well outside. Monty's planted some yellow pear and San Marzano tomatoes today. The San Marzano are a plum tomato, I think, aren't they? Pag's just having a brief visit before dinner. Thanks for joining us, Pag. It's great that you've come along. Greta, thank you very much for joining us. You got to finish your supper, that's fine. It's great that you were able to come along. Sam says it's a blessing, doesn't have to deal with a mid-shop tantrum. Kelly's bought a windowsill variety called Red Robin to try for a single seed challenge that she's joining in. Okay. John Wilson, welcome John. You grew black Russian outdoor, not a bad crop, fleshy tomato with thick skin. Jane's been sent some heritage pink heart tomato seeds. Has anyone tried them? I'd grown something a while ago that was pink, but they were more like a pearl shape. Jazz has some variegated seed leaf varieties, some strange ones to try. I've not seen variegated tomatoes. Heart's Fura tomato on the balcony. I don't know how to pronounce that one, sorry Joyce. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. I grew some yellow tomatoes last year, some yellow, Scottish yellow I think they were called. I was given some, they did quite well outdoors. Hello Ashley White, welcome to the chat this evening. So variegated I've not seen. On model 77, welcome. You're still well waiting for your boot Jalokia to germinate. I don't know what that is, I'm afraid. I apologise. You can explain what that is. Tomatoes failed miserably last year, Peter. I found tomatoes outdoors didn't do too well last year because I think the summer wasn't as good as the year before. The year before tomatoes were fine outdoors, but I did have a problem with tomatoes. Hello Monty's kids, welcome. Nice of them to say hello. A boot chicola is a chili. Right, okay. Okay, didn't know that. Shaz is asking, has anyone grown Red Star tomatoes? Right, thanks Pag for joining. Enjoy your spag bol. Jane's beans were terrible last year. Oh, my beans weren't too bad. Did take a lot of time to get going, but once once they did get going, they did well. Temperature fluctuations. Yeah, I think it was quite wet, Becky. Not enough hot days. I think those of people that are lucky enough to have polytunnels and things like that, that's definitely best to grow some tomatoes in there. Let's hope for a better summer this year and maybe grow some varieties that don't mind, that grow quickly, I guess. If we can find ones that grow quickly. Tony's tomatoes got badly hit by blight, so he only got 25 kilos. That's still pretty good. Pardon me while I have a drink. Right, Jane's asked the question, what do people do to stop mice eating their seeds? Tip I've been given about mice is put the seed in some garlic water, and apparently they don't like garlic water. So if it's peas, for example, you could infuse some garlic in water and then put those in the garlic water and for a little period of time, and then so that's my tip. I don't know if anybody else has any got any other tips other than what have we got here? Hanging seed from the roof. Have some cats. Yeah, cats obviously will maybe get rid of a few mice. Yeah, that's probably worthwhile. Max, you are chitting chilies and sweet peppers. Good. Ashley says leek seeds have always hated me. 3 years of trying and only 4 leeks. Are you putting leeks directly out, or are you planting them in pots first before putting them out? Liz says she's got 5 cats on her plot and they are rubbish at keeping them away. Jane says she's got a neighbour who uses paraffin. Oh gosh, no, definitely don't use paraffin. But garlic water might be an option. Kelly said she had to resort to trapping them last year. I tend to find, for me, that mice, we get mice and rats up at the allotment, and I tend to find that if you can get things planted in pots first before putting them out, as opposed to putting them directly in the ground, they tend to do better. The mice, if I put a row of peas outside in my allotment plot, then the mice would have them before they came up. Tony germinates them inside, then harden them off. You need some feral cats, according to Monty. Pigeons all... Oh, hang on. Why that was hell for review, Becky. Pigeons always eat your peas. Oh, they get into your grow house, Kelly. You never so direct other than carrots and parsnips and a couple of other things. Sam says his 3 varieties of tomatoes this year are Alicante, Honey Delight and Sweetie. Encourage owls. I guess, yeah, that would be a good thing. But if when they get in your greenhouse, I don't think you get owls that would get them from your greenhouse or your sheds or whatever. But yeah, encourage owls. I guess anything that predates or catches mice is something that we could do. Kelly had to do to trap mice, otherwise you'd have nothing left. Just Kelly, don't beat yourself up about things. I think in the end, if you've got to try and do something if there's a pest, and you do what you need to do. I've had problems with if I put peas. My biggest problem with peas is I get some pea and bean weevil and pea weevil that nibbles around all the edges of all the leaves of my pea plants, and they never ever do very well. So I must admit, I am going to grow some peas this year, and I've got the variety that I'm growing here. The ones I'm growing this year I'm going to try are these, which are called Douche Provence, and they grow in pairs, I think. Maybe wrong, but they say multi-purpose variety, for early spring under cloches, can be sown as a main crop. And Kelly says when she plants out it's rabbits. Yeah, you definitely need a scarecrow. You need a scarecrow, Kelly, or something something that will frighten away some of the critters in your plot. Monty, you're scared of mice and rats. I can understand rats particularly, but yeah, mice, they can make you jump. They certainly do. Liz says advice for peas is start them in guttering and don't put them out until they're 6 inches high, so they've got a fighting chance against the nibblers. Right, that might be a plan. Pepper flakes. Joyce reckons pepper flakes. Not heard of pepper flakes. Pepper. You mean like chili pepper? Chili pepper flakes, I guess what you mean, yeah? Chickens would predate mice, says Max. Well, you've got plenty of chickens. Becky had pea moth last year. The pigeons didn't eat the purple podded peas, but the moth got them instead. Oh dear, Becky. Yeah, I must admit, I've always not had much luck with either peas or carrots. Sam had a huge rat on his plot last year that sunflower had on the shelf, and it had eaten the lot. The droppings tells you the size. Yeah, yeah, they will. Rats will eat any sort of seeds. Yeah. So yeah. Sue did her peas in gutters last year and had a good crop. So there we go. That's definitely something I should try. If you put climbing frames up for the peas as soon as you plant them, the pigeons will stay away. Pete has a rat under his chicken coop. Oh no. So he's after the eggs, I guess. Kelly's dog is a good ratter, so they don't come near anymore. Paul says the Douche de Provence, apologies on my pronunciation, they're a cross between Meteor and Kelvin Wonder. You've not heard of them for years. Well, I got them from King's, Paul, and I got them, I think, when I was at the Malvern show last year, but you can probably get them online if you want to try. Liz would like to borrow Kelly's dog. Sam's going to try and catch the rat to show us the size. Good luck with that, Sam. You'll need a trap. Tony says most terriers, especially JRT, is that Jack Russell, Tony, are good ratters. Becky says she has rats the size of cats on her allotment. Oh my goodness, that but they don't seem to cause an issue. They must be eating something, but you don't know what. I've seen rats on my plot. I've seen them scuttling definitely around. They nest in compost bins and things like that. Yeah, Paul's actually just said that. He went into your hot bin. A terrier whippet mix. Yes, Tony, I was right with JRT's Jack Russell. Jazz had a rat try and make a home when Logan was ill. We have a canal 10 foot from our back door, but he keeps them down, thank goodness. Is Logan your cat, Jazz? Apologies if I missed that. On models 77, a cat catches mice and pigeons. Yeah, they certainly do. Monty says squirrels are his biggest issue. Yeah, squirrels are always a problem on if you've got lots of trees nearby you. Liz says that the rats are very blatant here and they don't even care if we're standing right in front of them. Ashley's got a Jack Russell Terrier that can't catch a plastic bag. Hello Dee, the frustrated gardener from Texas, welcome. Thank you for joining us, I guess this afternoon for you. Sam says they're living in his greenhouse under the slabs. Thank you, Paul, for joining us this evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much. Yes, Jazz says Logan is her killer cat. Oh, my phone says low power. Why is that? It's plugged in. Yes. try a different plug. Hopefully it's working. There we go. I think I'm back. Apologies if I sort of ended out there, but my phone said it was running low on battery, but it is actually plugged in. So right, right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Tony, UK, How We Grow. Welcome, Tony. Thank you for joining us. Max is going. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. What was that? I missed. I'm behind on the chat now, so apologies. Dean's been lucky with rats, but he has 5 dogs. Ashley, on your plot you have a fox, mice, a mole and slow worm, but no rats. Everybody, wherever you garden, has some sort of pest or other that wants to eat what you're growing. I think it's just something you have to accept, that if you're growing fruit and veg, then something is going to want to eat it. Jazz is asking what my plans for the weekend. Well, I'm planning to hopefully get up to the allotment for an hour or so tomorrow before the winds come in, just to make sure everything's okay and nothing's going to blow about. But then Sunday was my normal allotment day. I haven't got any plans. I'll probably sort out my seeds, I think, to decide what I need to be planting next. That's what I'll probably be doing, Jazz. Ash, what are your plans? What are other people's plans this weekend? Peter has a full wildlife ecosystem on his plot. Cast of animals of farthing wood are sat at the end of his garden. Pigeons do take the toll. Pigeon and mushroom pie is tasty. Okay. Yeah, I think Rachel Jane is saying everyone's job this weekend is to tie everything down. Ray's got deer. Oh well, no, they do cause havoc. The weather's hit about 5 minutes after Liz left from Tony's. Dean was planning polytunnel something or other. I apologise, that's too fast. You're getting ready for the Bristol seed swap and getting work and vlogging. Are you having to secure and keep safe much on the allotment? It was supposed to be very high winds this weekend. Yeah, it's just mainly making sure that the greenhouse and everything, and there's not sort of anything that's going to blow around. Sam is on the plot this weekend, but not next. It's his daughter's 8th birthday, so a very busy weekend for you, Sam. Ashley, personally, it's wildlife, and leave them. You can't say you'd be happy with rats, though. Kelly's filled the fireplace with logs, got ingredients for making piccalilli, and plan to be hunkering down. That sounds like a good plan. Piccalilli, I haven't tried piccalilli for years. Becky's going to the allotment tomorrow, and is going to be shopping for potatoes on Sunday. Frank is working from 11 to 8 tomorrow evening, and then a bit of gardening and pub on Sunday. Got a lot of piccalilli. Who mentioned the animals of Farthing Wood? That brings back memories. That was Peter from Gardener's Plot. Liz is making, no, sorry, Kelly is also making whole grain mustard and Carolina mustard sauce. Wow, you are going to be busy. Rats destroyed Ray's tomatoes. Didn't see what Monty said. Every day after school or something. Tony's going to get wet moving fruit and sowing seed. So you're going to be moving your fruit bushes, making the start, Tony. I know you said you were going to be doing that. Guess you'll have to start doing that before things start bursting into bud. Ray's driving to his Surrey allotment tomorrow. Jazz has, your family have got farm duties. You have to clip the claws of the chickens. Wow. And Tony's already started moving, and Liz helped you to move 6 trees today. Thank you to Liz from Tony. That's good. Monty's hoping to get out in the garden this weekend to maybe set up some new hotbeds. That's good. And Peter, you need to do Rabbit's and Teddy's nails. Hotbed. How do you make a hotbed? Is that using manure or something to make a hotbed? Jane, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us. Everybody stay safe this weekend. Ashley, you'll be at the allotment tomorrow once your mobility scooter is charged. Taib says hello. Hello, Taib. Yeah, fresh manure. Tony reckons fresh manure is the thing to do for no, I'm behind on the chat. What did I see? Rachel Jane's going to plant new trees, plant some bucket potatoes and sow some carrot seed and spread manure about the beds. Is anybody growing anything special? You're looking for some special greens, Joyce. Any advice from people? Tatsoi. Is that a Chinese type thing? Sam's asking when would you start growing, sowing courgettes? Well, they're tender, like any of the sort of cucumbery family. So I wouldn't probably start courgettes until maybe April. You could possibly start them indoors earlier than that, but you're going to have to keep them somewhere warm. So I wouldn't start them. Oh, Tony reckons May. You know, definitely sort of late. Not yet, anyway. I wouldn't start them too soon. They grow quickly, courgettes, and you'll have hundreds of them anyway. So I wouldn't start too soon. Tony starts his mid-April. Is Kelly going? Sorry if I missed. Bye, Kelly. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It was great that you could come along. Right, Liz reckons Asturian tree cabbage is a short-lived perennial cabbage and tastes fabulous. A courgette plague, yes, Tony. Yeah, you only need a couple of plants. It's my advice. Jazz does her squash in late April in the Midlands. Bye. Are you going, Peter, or are you saying bye to somebody else? If you're going, thank you very much for joining us. How big should a hotbed be to work? Make a bin from 4 pallets. You need that volume to get the heat, says Tony. Good advice from Tony. Has anybody started any flower seeds off this year? Sweet peas. Has anybody started any sweet peas off? I've got some sweet pea seeds that I think I probably should start, but I don't know when to start them. I know you can start them a little earlier on, but sort of like the back end of the year. But when do you start them this part of the year? Tony started them about a week ago. Oh, so I could start them now then. Yep. So yeah, and Liz reckons you can start sweet peas now. Ray's started petunias and dahlias. Becky's just done her sweet peas last week in the greenhouse, so it's obviously a good time to start sweet peas then. So maybe I can give those a go. Jazz has got sweet peas, cleome, verbena, and something else on the go. Yeah. Ashley has got geraniums in the greenhouse. I know that geraniums do take a long time to grow, so I guess you can start those early. Sam has started sweet williams. I don't know what cleome are, and I don't know whether I pronounced that correctly, but yeah, that's something that I've never really tried before. I've got a few seeds for flowers. I don't grow a lot of flowers from seed. Last year I grew some, and what did I grow? Rebecca. Tony says he loves verbena. I also grew, hello Brian, welcome, thanks for joining us this evening, great that you could come along. Yeah, I must admit, obviously I grow sunflowers. Those are the main flowers that I do grow, and I will definitely be growing sunflowers again. Right, thank you very much, Peter. You've got early start in the morning. That's great. Thank you for joining us today. Sam has started, oh sorry, it's going to be starting coleus soon. Becky started delphinium seeds in the house. Jazz is growing them flowers for a wedding for her friend. They're very special. And Tony thinks they're for his wedding. Are you getting married this year, Tony? Tony's about to get some dahlias going to take cuttings. Is that from those sort of the big fleshy roots that you start them off in sort of like a sand or whatever, and then take cuttings from the bits that come off the top, and then start them. Right, Cleome are a spider flower. They're hard to germinate but are gorgeous. They have a spiky stem and smell of a questionable herb. In fact, are you talking that they look a little bit like cannabis by any chance, Jazz? UK, Tony says, oh, July 28th you're getting married, congratulations. Joyce is growing wildflowers in one bed. Yeah, Tony says you let them shoot and then take cuttings. Sam says he needs to get married because he's been engaged for 9 years. That's a long engagement, Sam. Becky says she has to do her dahlia tubers too. She wants to take some cuttings. Ashley says that you've been engaged for 10 years, so don't rush. Okay, there we go. You're having a competition for how long you've been engaged. Oh, and Ray has been engaged for 10 years. Mike's joined us from Mike's Hobbies. Mike has changed his channel name. If you don't know, his channel name was Mike's Greenhouse. It's now Mike's Hobbies. Thank you for joining us, Mike. Don't worry about saying you were late. That doesn't matter. As long as you can come along. David Bellaby, welcome David. What's the best time to plant grapevines? I'm not an expert on grapevines. Could any of you wonderful people advise David on when's best to plant grapes? Thank you, Shaz, for joining us. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks for coming along. Sam thinks engagement is enough. James McAllister, welcome James, thank you for coming along. Tony says, get your grapes in the ground before spring kicks in. So Mike's listening while he does some homework, no problem. You carry on doing your homework, that's no problem. Sam. Right, let me show that message. Grapevines can be planted at any time now. Ashley asked for any tips on making videos for your YouTube channel. Just start filming, give it a go. Don't worry about it too much. Don't worry at the beginning about editing, just have a go and you know, just make a start. That would be my first tip. And don't worry about how you appear on video, and just do it. Give it a try. Jen, Allotment Adventures, popping in to say hello. Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures. Hello, Jim Bob. Welcome. It was your birthday last week. Happy birthday. Yeah, Ray just says do it. Get your phone out. Yes, just film on a phone. That's what I mean. I still do mine on a phone. You can have all sorts of fancy equipment, and you obviously, but talk about what you're doing. Stay beside. Jazz says stay behind the camera if you need to. Have fun and make friends. Yeah. James is struggling with editing, that's why you haven't uploaded yet, hoping to do it soon. Yeah, I would say editing is, I was lucky because when I started, my son did the editing for me, so I guess for a few months really, so I was able to just film. So yeah, just give it a go. Ray just says he's a shy person, and messed up all his words. Jazz videos encouraged me on her video. Yeah. So you get more confident in doing it the more you do it. That's my advice. So just give it a try, and you'll find that people are supportive. You'll find you get more subscribers, and then you can get advice. There are lots of people that will give you advice if you need it, and there are lots of videos on YouTube about making videos. Jazz has an old free editing suite. It does nothing fancy, but it works. It doesn't need to be fancy pants. Simple is best. Brian was shy in his earlier days. Tony needs to get some food. Thank you very much, Tony. Thanks for joining us this evening. So just film it. Just give it a go. Don't go don't think about maybe doing live things straight away. Just have a go at filming it and see how you feel about it. Hello Tracy, welcome. Thank you, Tracy from Belgium. Thanks for joining us this evening. It looks like it's going to be a rough weekend. Ray uses his iPhone and uses iMovie to edit. Tony's been making videos for quite a long time, and yeah, he could give you a good advice there. He felt that he made the worst videos on YouTube when he first started, but you learn as you go, and I think you do. I think you do, definitely. What? The clocks are wrong. London Worms is here. Welcome, London Worms. Thank you for joining us. Joyce says you only edit because English is not your native language, otherwise you'd have the videos would last an hour. Hello Ecocentric Homestead, welcome. Becky says she still doesn't have the confidence to go live. Do it if you can. Do it from your plot, and then you can actually just do a tour live. That's how I did it first. If you've got mobile phone data and allowed to do live, actually, you need, I don't know how many subscribers you've got. I think you need to have 1,000 to be able to go live. Ecocentrics Homestead, there's been a rough weekend, 30 centimetres of snow. Mike, you don't make bad videos, you make good videos. The messages are going too fast for me to read now. Tracy's in the process of making a mini greenhouse from an old yurt. You should wait, not sure if you wait till the storm passes. I would. Sam says he watched his first video the other day, but thought it was awful, but his quality's definitely getting better. Hugh, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today, this evening. I'm well, thank you. I'm very good. Yes, Liz saying to Tracy to wait until the storm passes. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, you can't do it from the plot because you have to hit 1,000 subscribers. That wasn't that changed this year. It wasn't originally like that. So my first one, I was able to do it. Now, everybody's saying hi to you. What's the weather going to be like over by you, Hugh? Because you're on the sort of like the west coast of Wales, aren't you? Brian says he never expects to go live, but never say never. I quite like doing the live. I must admit now, it's a good way of having a nice chat with people. You could give it a try. You're over 1,000 subscribers, Brian. You could give a live a go. Hello, North London Allotment. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Don't worry about being late, Hugh. Thomas London Worm says he's shy about actually appearing in live videos, and we'll do a face reveal when he reaches 1 million subscribers. Okay, there's a challenge. I don't have a crazy 8-year-old. Jazz says I don't have a crazy 8-year-old who tells people very random things. No. I've got a 15-year-old who's quiet. Sam, why can't you do lives? You can't do lives from your plot, you mean? You can do lives at home because you did them last year. You can do lives on your own, on a computer basically. Brian says he has a noisy dog that would spoil a live stream. I've got a dog downstairs. She does bark, but it's usually just during the day when she sees any cats. But during the evening, she's not going to bark. Probably. I can say that now and she'll bark. Joyce says that she saw Hugh's book in her local bookshop located in the Netherlands. That's brilliant. I bet that is quite odd, Hugh. When you see your book, when you're going into shops and you think, "There's my book," that must be a nice feeling. And while I remember, I just want to mention Hugh's got a new book coming out, and if you check out his channel, he's got a book coming out in the next month or so, from what I remember. Small Garden Escape says you find the live chats inspire you to get out in the garden, and you love Liz's and Erica's live chats. That's great. I haven't seen Erica do a live chat for a while. I know Liz definitely still does live chats. I guess Erica, she had a wedding coming up. She's had a wedding now. Okay, you haven't got the confidence to do them in general. Yeah, I can understand that. London Worm says you want people to concentrate on what you're doing. People will be drooling over me. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's the reason you don't do lives, but you enjoy joining in others. Thank you, Joyce, for mentioning, giving me a thumbs up. That'd be very kind. Bill and Val, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Great that you're able to pop along. It's good to see that you're here. Becky, Sunflower Challenge, I am doing it this year, and to be honest, I haven't decided on what the categories are going to be yet. So you'll have to wait and see until I actually plan it and film it. But I won't be doing the Sunflower Challenge till probably towards the end of March. Am I growing anything unusual, Hugh, this year? Right. Am I growing anything unusual? I've got lots of seeds. I always try and grow something I haven't grown before each year. So I'm not. I sort of haven't really planned out everything that I'm going to grow, and that's one of the things I do need to sort out. But I'll probably be growing. I'm going to be growing some carrots. I'm going to try and grow carrots. I know that's not unusual. I'm determined to get some carrots growing well this year. I've never had any luck with carrots. So I'm going to grow some normal orange carrots, and I'm also going to try some of the novelty sort of coloured carrots. So I guess that's something I'm definitely going to be growing this year. Jazz asked, can we have a most sunflowers grown category? Yes, I guess that's an option. One option. I'll think about it. Am I disappeared? It just says waiting whether the connection comes back. Am I here still? I can still see me, so I'm assuming I can. Hugh hasn't even started his plan yet. You can look forward to my carrot vids, okay? Now, oh good, you can see me, that's okay. Can we have an oh well, I gave it a go category? You've got too much shade to get big sunflowers. Well, I sort of, last year I did do a most unusual to give people a chance, so it wasn't just biggest sunflowers. I I will definitely I will probably go with the tallest sunflower definitely again, and possibly the largest head, but I don't know. If I don't do one category that people, I found that when you take out categories that people have grown the previous year, then people complain saying, "Oh, I liked doing that category." So I'll probably do something new, and I'll definitely keep at least a couple of the categories that I've had from last year. That's my plan. Joyce is going to grow some okra. I don't really know what okra is. That lady's fingers okra. Brian says sweet candle are a must for him. I missed some comments. There were lots of them. Bill and Val said, question, would you give up your greenhouse for a polytunnel? If so, why? I would. If I had the space for a polytunnel, I'd love to have one. Gardening Services Southend on Sea, welcome. I didn't see you come in. Is that Ant? Is that Ant from Ant's Allotment? You changed your channel name. Sam is looking forward to the sunflower challenge. Joyce is saying vertical sunflowers. Did you have a problem with yours blowing down? London Worms has sowed some turnips and Swedes. I think that will be on Sunday. Got home tonight and they're leggier than Twiggy. You needed some lights. You need some lights. Greenhouses are warmer and tunnels more space. Plus and minuses for both. Greenhouses are warmer and tunnels give you more space for your book. People that have got polytunnels, I'd really love to have a polytunnel and a greenhouse, to be truthful, but I haven't got the space on my allotment for a polytunnel, unfortunately. Forking Allotment, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Brian would never give up his greenhouse. You get more light than in a polytunnel. Liz says it's only warmer in a greenhouse if the brambles haven't broken the glass on their way in. Oh, right, okay, so you've got problems with glass breaking. Liz, it's a question of like people to give the reason. Been thinking of you've been thinking of changing yours over, Bill and Val, from greenhouse to a polytunnel. Sam says he could never give up his greenhouse. Sam, you've got a brilliantly big greenhouse. You've got a great, size greenhouse. I'd love a greenhouse that big, but it definitely is excellent, and you've done a great job in cleaning it up. Yeah, it owes you because of all the work you've done it. Forking Allotment says I have both a greenhouse and a polytunnel. Tony would like a timber framed greenhouse. Yeah, I'd love a timber framed greenhouse. The only problem about a timber frame is its maintenance, I would say. London Worms would like a proper polytunnel or a proper greenhouse, but I'd love also make good and do a DIY approach, keep cornflower, sweet peas and snapdragons alive in a DIY greenhouse. And you changed your gardening channel name for your business name, right? Okay, welcome. Becky would like a shared greenhouse in one. My brother has one of those. My brother lives in Birmingham. He's got a greenhouse, a shed that's got sort of like greenhouse side to it almost, sort of like a lean-to thing on the side, and got rid of his greenhouse to make way for an 18-foot polytunnel. Ant says next house he'll try and pick up a wooden greenhouse. Ashley says it's now raining in Bournemouth, looks like the bad weather is here early. Yeah. And Jen has a £30 plastic greenhouse currently lashed to the fence with tow ropes, and there are seedlings in it, so your fingers crossed that it survives. Yeah, definitely. Jen, remind me whereabouts. Are you in Wales somewhere? South Wales, am I remembering right? Thank you, Jazz. It's been great to have you along for the chat. Brilliant, thank you for coming along. Sam says it's getting very windy in the East Midlands. Yeah, I thought the main winds were going to come in on Sunday. Swansea, there we go, Swansea, Jensen, Swansea, I was right in South Wales. 90-mile-an-hour winds is what you're expecting. Wow. Thanks very much, Jazz. Bye. Yeah, that is windy. I guess the predictions of what they'll be and what they'll be might not be what they say. Saturday night into Sunday is the last update. Forking Allotment says it's not too windy here in South Yorkshire yet. And Tracy reckons they'll get the storm on Sunday in Belgium. James McAllister has got a greenhouse and a polytunnel looking to extend his poly to 6 metres by 3 metres this year from a 4.5 metre poly. So that's a nice decent size polytunnel. Yeah, we definitely hope it's not going to be as bad as predicted. 90-mile-an-hour winds would cause structural damage, yeah. James is in Lytham St Anne's and there's no wind there at the moment. I'm in North Wales, just by Chester, and it doesn't sound windy at all here at the moment. I haven't heard any wind, but so that doesn't mean it isn't a little bit windy. Yeah, Jen's Allotment. Put your seeds on the greenhouse floor. I had a small plastic greenhouse and the wind made the plastic sides move and you lost all your seeds. Southpaw Davy thought we were doing this tomorrow. No, it was always Friday. Apologies. Thank you for coming along. Tony says it's blowing a gale and hammering down too. Oh gosh. Yes. Becky says she has no wind here in South Wales, just a bit of rain. Yeah, bring him into the kitchen. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's always raining in Wales. No, it doesn't always rain in Wales. I live in Wales and it doesn't always rain here. Chaotically gardening, welcome. Still prepping the wood raised bed with polyurethane and tar paint, and will make the soil a bit more fertile. Can start building the polytunnel. Right, Sam, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us today. Now, how long have I been going? 96 minutes. I will have to finish 5 more minutes, I would say. I'll be finishing at 9:45 in UK time, because I'm getting a bit tired now too. Jen, you have some lovely springs and summers, yeah. You thought it was Thursday. I hope it isn't Thursday. It is Friday. I'm sure it's Friday. Pardon me. Right, so yeah, there's some nice weather. Well, it's good that you checked it in, Dave. Glad that you were able to come along. Where's my cuppa? Yeah, I should have got a cuppa. I've got a drink. A drink of blackcurrant to keep me going. I don't tend to drink tea late on in the evening. Caffeine to me, if I have too much caffeine later on in the evening, I can't get off to sleep. Thank you, Ashley. Glad you enjoyed the chat. Hello, boys in Igran. Blackcurrant is the best drink for live chats. There we go. Tony's on the cider. Yeah, well, okay, that's fair enough. I'm good, thank you. It better be Friday, yeah, because otherwise I'd be in work tomorrow if it was Thursday. Liz is asking, have you had any wine yet? Cider and blackcurrant is Becky's drink. Tracy, have you made cider vinegar? I've never made cider vinegar. Brian, you're not allowed because of too many tablets. Okay, fair enough. Right. Jen is off. Thank you, Jen. Ivan says it's a good live chat. Thank you very much. Bye, Jen. James has made cider vinegar and he's made gallons of it. No, never made cider vinegar, so right, I'm going to call it a day, I think. I thank you all for coming along. I've really enjoyed it. We've talked a little bit about seeds, we've talked about all sorts of different things this evening, and I'd just like to thank you all for coming along. So Before I finish, I'll just say thanks very much for joining me on this live chat, and I'll see you again next time. Bye everyone.